This is Dr. Quinlan with Quinlan Chiropractic Clinic from Coppell, Texas, and you're listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show.
Hi there, this is Lori Dunham with Dunham Business Radio. We won the 2019 Gray Bowl Show of the Year. We also got an award for community service, and I can't thank you enough for all of your support. We are on the next level, and we're going higher, and I can't do it without you, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much, and stay tuned in.
Live from Arlington, Texas, it's the Dunham Business Radio Show. And here's your host, Lori Dunham.
As always, I am so excited you're here, and thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate your support, and I'm just really excited that you're here. Please ping your friends and let them know that we've got an amazing guest tonight. I think I say that every time, but it's true. Our guests that come on here are absolutely amazing. They have so much insight and inspiration and wisdom to share with you, and it's just my honor to bring them to you and make that connection. So super excited. So please ping your friends, let them know that we are here and we are raring to go. And as you know, we have young people around the world who are co-hosting with us. And so tonight, back again by popular demand, is Dennis from Germany. Welcome back to the show, Dennis.
Hi, and also a big welcome from me.
Yes, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here again.
Me too. I'm so glad.
How are things going over there?
They're going pretty good. I have summer break right now and soon going back to school.
Okay, cool. So you're still in high school, right? You graduate next year.
Yes, I'm still in high school, and I'm graduating next year. That's right.
That's awesome. And so what do you do right now during the summertime besides co-hosting on the show?
I also do a lot of graphic design as well as for Dunham Business Radio and also for clients. So if you want a cool logo or something or a layout, just hit me up or just text Lori and she will get it to me.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So, we talk to business owners all over the time, all over the world, and they need marketing strategies and marketing content and graphic design. So yeah, Dennis is working with us on some tech refresh, and he's helped a couple of my clients already create logos and other marketing materials. So if you need that help, Dennis is here. Just email the show, DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com, and I'll connect you guys and get you going. But so tonight is a great night. Dennis, are you excited about this guest? What are you expecting?
I'm really, really, really excited. I'm just trying to find out like how amazing he is, and just like what he's doing, it's like perfection.
I love it. Well, let's just jump right in. Are you ready?
I am.
Okay. Well, tonight's guest, his name is David Bibiano. He is the owner of Take 17 Video Productions in Austin, Texas. That's a corporate and commercial video production and strategy company creating award-winning video content, and they are their premier video production company, specializing in the power of video to solve problems and make businesses look incredible. He collaborates with clients around the world and has created a unique way to give back to the industry while preserving the art of videography. He's here today to tell us all about his secret sauce. So please welcome to the show, David Bibiano. Welcome to the show.
Am I on mute now? I'm good.
There you are. Sorry.
There we go. What's going on,
I
Lori?
realized I hit the mute button instead of the unmute button. So great to have you here.
Well, it's great to be here. I appreciate you guys inviting me to be part of your show. This is really awesome.
It's just like an honor to be in the presence of excellence. So thank you.
Don't tell too many people about that.
Well, we are going to spill your secret sauce. But before we get into that, I want to know all about David. Who is David? How did you get into video? I mean, it's not something you just woke up and did one day, right?
Definitely not. No, video is something that's kind of come to fruition over quite a long time. Back in school and high school, the camera was always in my hand. I always had it. When I graduated, I moved to the East Coast, and, I just loved taking photos, and it really started with photo. Back then, video wasn't a huge thing for me. In fact, it wasn't really a huge thing for most people. It wasn't consumer friendly. So I did a lot of architectural photos, and people started asking me, "Hey, you do pretty good work. Can you come help me out with this? Can you come help me out with that? Can you, take pictures at my wedding or take pictures of my kids?" And it kind of grew from there. Fast forward, 15, 16, well, I don't want to say how many years fast forward, but here we are. I know. So yeah, during that time though, I spent a lot of time in the business world. I actually have a history in the finance industry. I spent 15 years in the finance industry, and I did a lot of things. So I did customer service, sales, operations, project management, recruiting, HR. I did all of that stuff. Wow. I was also in the military. I spent 7 years as a medic in an infantry unit. All that time, I guess that's 22 years worth of experience. I was able to take that knowledge and place it into launching a video production company. And obviously that being my passion, my skill set as a videographer grew over time, but being able to take that skill set and those knowledge and experience from the finance industry and the military and really implement that into a video production and strategy company. And it kind of took off, and things are going really, really well with obviously my company. That's
amazing. Yeah. And I want to touch on something that you just said, that you took your knowledge and skills from one industry, multiple experiences. And but in addition to, thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do for our country.
No need to thank me. It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
So you were able to take the skills that you learned in corporate America and in the military and took those, what I call transferable skills, and apply them to chasing your dream. And I think so many times, our audience is 98% entrepreneurial, so they're either working a full-time job with a side hustle, or working a full-time job with a dream of being entrepreneurs, or they've taken the leap, right? They are currently entrepreneurs and they're out there and they're making it and hustling, right? And so sometimes they say, especially those who haven't jumped yet, they say, well, you know what? I don't have the skills to do this dream that I have. And they're focusing on what it's going to take when you get into that role. But it's so important sometimes to go back and say, you know what? Corporate America has trained you in this and this, this and this. And what skills do you have that are transferable into your actual dream job? So I just want to just point that out right away, that's kind of what launched you to be able to chase your dream.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that you learn in the corporate environment. Every day that you go to work and you're working for, a big corporation, essentially you're solving problems is what you're doing on a daily basis. So whatever that is, we want to increase our sales. We want to hire more people. We want to attract an investor, whatever it is, you're solving a problem for a bigger entity, which is the company that you're working for. And for all the people that are thinking about jumping out and launching their own business, it's the same thing. In reality, if you have something that solves somebody's problem, then you have extreme amounts of value. And it doesn't matter what that problem is. Maybe it's just somebody has a sweet tooth and you're awesome at making chocolate covered strawberries, but they've got a problem and you've got a solution to it. So, or a dentist, right? So in reality, if you understand how to solve a problem and you are able to deliver that message to your audience or your target demographic, then it's 100% possible to live a life and be, very lucrative and very well off doing what you're passionate about. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so what's really interesting about videography, it's the ability to tell a story, right? And really video in this day and age, it's really the most effective strategy to deliver a message, right? To your customers, employees, partners, investors.
So what we know as a business community is that, video distributed properly, and that's the key piece. It has to be distributed properly.
Yes.
Is from a statistical point of view, the most effective and efficient way to deliver a message, right? So you can communicate with your employees, your customers, your shareholders, your partners, your investors, whoever it is. And you can do that on a mass scale, right? You can literally flip the switch and deliver a message to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. And you just can't do that any other way. And from a conversion standpoint, the numbers tell us, and the data and the analytics tell us that nothing converts higher than video. And it's just because you're able to deliver that message in the most meaningful way possible. It's almost like duplicating yourself and showing people in real life what something is, whether it's a product or a service, and just giving it to everybody that you want to give it to. Now, again, the distribution piece is the key, right? Like you can create the greatest, coolest looking video of all time, but if you don't know how to move that information to where your audience is going to see it, then it's not going to do anything. And then at that point, it becomes a waste of time, a waste of money. So understanding the strategy piece is equally as important as the production piece and telling the story. They have to go hand in hand. Otherwise, there's no results in it. In reality, in business, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for results more than anything else.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Your video is really I don't want to say no good, but it's not effective if nobody can see it. And
Exactly.
You know what? I've seen that even here in the show when I post something to Facebook and it's just text, like, be sure to tune in, or, hey, I'm looking for these kinds of guests, or I get, a couple little pings, a couple of people have maybe scrolled through or whatever, but every single time we post an interview, it's a video, we get thousands and thousands of people looking at it. In fact, we ended, and it's not even the month of July is not over yet, but we get our numbers like the week before the last week of the month. So last week was our end of month, and we hit nearly 8,500 people, just over 8,500 people. Yes.
That is awesome. That is good stuff.
That's nothing to do with me. That's the entire audience and the draw for video. So, that speaks volumes right there.
Well, it's just, it's a content medium that's easy to consume. You press play and you get the information. And honestly, I think it's a bit unfortunate that as a society, we've gone to a place where we don't read as much anymore. In an ideal world, if we could, kind of rewind a little bit, I would love to see people, reading articles, reading more blogs, reading books. But the reality is that where we're at in the 21st century in the business world, the video is king. And it's going to be that way for a long time. Eventually there will be something that comes and replaces video. And I don't know what that is quite yet. But maybe it'll be like the Matrix where we download information into somebody's brain like that. But for right now, video it's really the champion of being able to deliver message. No matter if that's for a sales purpose or any other purpose within a business, that's really the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you touched on this a little bit ago, but, videography is an art, right? And sometimes art and business, they don't necessarily align the way that you would want to see the revenue that you're looking for. And so, creating video is one thing, making it look great is another thing. But sometimes videographers, they just don't know how to get the video in front of the client's target market to get the results that they need. And what I found really interesting, David, is that you found a solution. You actually co-created the Real Deal Video Strategist Club and the Real Deal Online Marketer programs, so you can help other people learn the business side, the creative side, the strategy side. You put it all together to go from just being a camera operator into being a bring it to market strategist. Can you talk a little bit more about where that inspiration came from, if I didn't already spill the beans?
Absolutely. No. So that's actually something that I picked up from the military. So when I showed up to Fort Benning, Georgia, as a private, I was the lowest rank in the military, the lowest of the low. I was the bottom of the totem pole. On one of the very first days that we were there, our drill sergeant gave us a quote that it stuck. I didn't quite understand it when he told it to us, but after being in the military for 7 years, I started to really understand what it was. And it's a quote by a Marine Corps general by the name of Robert H. Barrow. And he said, "Amateurs talk tactics, but professionals study logistics." And it didn't make sense to me because I was still trying to figure out like how to put my uniform on correctly, right? Where the patches were supposed to go. So I didn't get it until I really got into the operational Army. But from a military perspective, what did that mean to General Barrow? Well, basically what it means is that you can be the greatest warrior. You can be, a Navy SEAL. You can be an airborne Army Ranger operator. You can be just the best of the best. But if you do not have a logistical support system to help you accomplish the mission, you're not going to be successful. And an example of that is, you're all together, you got all your gear, you're ready to go. But if your mission is 1,000 miles away and you don't have transportation, you got airplane or a tank or something to get you there, you're not going to be very successful in that mission. If you don't have food and water, if you don't have communications, if you don't have all the other stuff that goes into that, you're not going to be very successful. So I started to really understand that the military was very much a game of chess. You have to move things. Logistics is basically the systematic movement of something, whether that's a platoon of Marines or if it's a package that UPS is going to deliver from California to North Carolina. There's a whole system that goes into that. And that made so much sense as I started to launch my video production company. And I always knew that in order to get results for my clients and results for my business, I would have to solve problems through the movement of information. So really, when I take a look at my business, to my team, I say that we are not a video production company. We are a logistics company. We are in the business of moving information. Our client has information in their head that we need to in turn get onto a video. We need to understand who the audience is, where the audience is at, how are we going to distribute this information, what platforms are available. Is TV the best? Is radio the best? Social media, email campaigns, text message campaigns. What's the best way to take this video and actually move it, right? It's information that we have to move. And once we move it, how can we measure the results of that movement? Can we tell if our clients are taking an action? Are they booking a demo? Are they calling us? Are they booking an appointment? How do we measure that? And then on the back end, how do we multiply that? How do we take that data and kind of put it into the front end where we very first started and grow that audience and turn that into something bigger? And without understanding that logistical approach, the movement of information to take somebody and really kind of take them through a process. If you don't have that, the video could be the most tactical thing in the world, right? Amateurs talk tactics. So videographers that only create a video and that's it, that's great. It's great to have that, but it's amateur. If you want to be a professional, you have to understand how to move that to get an action on the other end.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the most critical points is to recognize, are you an amateur? Are you a professional? And there's steps you have to take to become a professional. And I think from the business world, there's toolboxes, right? The business toolbox, right? So the different tools you use, software, whether it's accounting or some other inventory system or customer retention management system or email marketing or whatever. And then there's your power team, right? Those are the people that actually strategically align with you. So it could be your accountant, it could be your marketer, it could be your, I'm saying the power team because if you don't have a video strategist, a professional as part of your power team, you're not really there.
Right. Yeah. Having a video strategy especially in the last, I think over the last 4 or 5 months, we've realized how important it is to be able to deliver messages. We've got companies that were completely in-person companies and have completely switched to the point where business is online now. Mm-hmm. Business is done right here on a cell phone.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You can literally shop for groceries and never go to the store and never talk to anybody, and groceries will be on your doorstep.
Yeah.
But when you're transitioning from where we were to where we are, you got to deliver that message, right? They have to have, whoever it is, your employees, your customers, they've got to have the information. As soon as you stop communicating with your audience, it all comes to a screeching halt, right?
That's right.
So the majority of my clients and the smart business owners that are out there are really leaning into the fact that they know they need to deliver those messages, and they know video is going to get that job done at the most effective and efficient way possible. So they're really putting a lot of effort into that. And a lot of people are seeing a lot of success. And believe it or not, people are having record sales months during the last 2 or 3 months. And nobody would have thought that, because we're in a global pandemic. Everybody thinks that everything's shut down. The business world doesn't shut down.
That's right.
It's going no matter what. That's a train that's not stopping. Either you're going to be on the train, or you're going to get left behind. So what do you have to do to stay on that and get the information to the people that need it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so in that same regard of communicating with your audience, let me just say this real quick. If you're listening to this and it's a replay, go ahead and do #replay and share this video out. Hashtag. Yeah. Thanks for that, David. I'm going to start doing that every time.
Yeah, hashtag.
And then also go ahead and drop your comments. You're listening live. Go ahead, drop your comments in the box. David's going to be monitoring that box over the next couple of days. So if we don't get to your question by the end of the show, don't worry, because David is here and he's going to be monitoring. He's going to engage with you. So whatever question you've got, whether you're a brand new getting into video, or you've been around a while and you want to get to the next step, or maybe you're a professional and you want to collaborate with him on a project. Who knows, right? Great things come from collaboration, and you just never know what you're going to create, and maybe win Oscar for cinematography. That's so who knows, right? So let me just toss it over to Dennis. Dennis, how you doing over there? Are you absorbing all this? Was it making sense to you?
It does make sense. It does make sense. I'm just absorbing it and trying to analyze how he's working, and also trying to, as we talked earlier about the Strategist Club, just to get information from him and just get better at what I'm doing.
Yeah. So the Real Deal Video Strategist Club is something that my marketing partner and I, my business partner, we created. It took us about 9, actually going on about 11 months now to create and launch. So what it is, it's an online community, and it comes with a course that teaches videographers the skills that are on the business side, the strategy side. We don't necessarily teach videographers how to set up their cameras and set up their lights and do all that stuff. That's something there's a different course for that. We teach our students how to understand, how to sit down with the business owner, how to get in front of them in the first place. So many videographers struggle getting in front of the right people. So we teach them the skills to get in front of the right people and be able to have conversations with them, like discovery conversations, where they can really understand that business's priorities, their struggles, their challenges, what's worked well, what their competition is doing, all that discovery information. And then being able to take that information and build out a whole strategy and say, look, these are the videos you need, and this is why you need them. And here's who we're going to show them to, and here's how we're going to measure the results. This is the stuff that typical videographers shy away from because they're creators. And a lot of them end up with that starving artist situation where they're really good at creating the video and they hope every once in a while somebody hires them. But in reality, if you want to be in business, you got to get sales. And in order to get sales, you have to be able to produce results for businesses. So we teach them the strategy piece, how to move the information. We teach step-by-step breakdowns on how to run ad campaigns on all social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, Snapchat, MailChimp. We cover all that so that you can be a master of understanding the distribution piece of your videos, so that you can take your videos and make sure that they're seen by the appropriate people. So we have an international student base. We launched our pilot program about 2 months ago, and we're seeing tremendous results. A lot of our students are seeing some big deals that they're closing that they just didn't know were possible. So now that our pilot phase is over, we are opening it up to videographers who want to develop their skill set from the business aspect. And it's going really well. And then off of that, we kind of separated off a little mini course that we sell to entrepreneurs. So, you know, if you got a massage studio, or you've got a cake baking business or whatever it is, and you want to learn how to run ads, we've separated off that section of our master course, and we made a mini course called The Real Deal Online Strategist, or The Real Deal Online Marketer, excuse me, which teaches you how to run those ad campaigns on all those platforms. So it's something that we've put together. We're very happy with, we're very excited about, and it's really more than anything helping people get from being that starving artist to actually running successful production companies.
That's amazing. Yeah, to just identify that part in the market, to say, here's a need, here's a problem, and you solve problems. That's what's so amazing is, you know, you could have kept it just in the realm of videography, but instead you look bigger and you're like, you know, businesses need this, and not so much the big guys, because they can hire a videographer like that, right? It's the smaller business, the entrepreneur that needs to get their voice out there. And so you created a solution. And that's what you do, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
Problem solving. It's the way whoever solves problems and enjoys solving problems and enjoys who they're solving problems with, you can be successful no matter what your passion is. And delivering information is the way to go about it. I mean, we have supercomputers in our pockets. We could literally deliver a message to anybody in the world.
That's right. And you know what, I'm going to take that as you foretelling our dream coming true, because here at the show, I mean, we connect, promote, and solve business problems across multiple platforms. So, I mean, what you just spoke about is exactly what we do. And we move information too, right? We from business
Absolutely.
owner to the audience. And this is our medium, you know, this is our platform. We're like the Dunham Business Radio YouTube.
Exactly right. And you guys are using the platforms that your audience, your target demographic is able to consume that content and find value from it. And it's the smart way to do business. It really is. You guys are delivering awesome messages.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited about our next segment. I want to talk more about your journey as an entrepreneur. We always ask our guests to give some inspiration or a wisdom nugget, if you will, because like I said, our audience are 98% entrepreneurial, and you know, they might be on a journey and kind of hit a plateau or hit a brick wall. Even they can't even get to the plateau. And so we like to ask the guests to, give some inspiration from your journey of maybe something you overcame, a challenge, or share a success story that could just inspire our audience. Just keep going.
Sure.
If you can do it, they can do it. And so when we come back, what I want to do is jump into that and learn more about David and his journey. And so just stay tuned. In the meantime, put your comments in the box, and we'll be back right after this.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello guys, I'm Uthman from Morocco. You are listening to the Dunham Business Radio show.
How many times have you put off a project and end up cursing yourself for waiting until the last minute? My name is Dawn Shannon, and I work with highly motivated procrastinators. If you're tired of putting those projects on the back burner and want to finally get them off your to-do list, head on over to my website, jovistrategies.com. That's JOVI strategies.com, where you can download my free 30 Days to Done worksheet to learn how to get more done in 30 days than most people do in 90. No, really, do it now.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here. We are at Dunham Business Radio. I am your host, Lori Dunham, and we are having a great conversation with our guest tonight. we are learning the importance of moving information from the customer's brain to the consumer's decision box. And I say that jokingly, but really, it's so important to get the message out there. And research has shown that video is more received than any other form, any other method. So I want to toss it over to Dennis real quick. Dennis, what have you picked up? What have you learned that you didn't know before?
I haven't known that, like, not only like, selling what are you doing really good, that's a big part, yes, but also going like forward and just do how can I say that, just the message the company has, it's like in video, in graphic design, whatever, it's going public. So you should really be aware of what are you doing, and it's really really important to just deliver the message to like that stuff online, videos. That's super important for the company also to push it up.
Yeah, I think video is a really great way to get your message out, to increase your image. And I want to just say, I really appreciate Dennis giving his input. I mean, he's a millennial, right? And so there's so many new technologies and attention limiting platforms that millennials, 10 seconds on YouTube and you've lost them, So how do you deliver a message in 10 seconds to keep the audience, David? What are some of your suggestions about capturing the audience when their attention is so limited?
Well, and this is a very, very common question about, attention spans going down. And it's really about understanding your audience and understanding where your audience is within their decision-making process. So if, say, for instance, you want to capture their attention while they're scrolling through social media, whether that's, TikTok, which is super new, or Snapchat or Facebook for, the older crowd, you're right. There's a limited time frame that you have to get them to take an action. And usually that's, 10, 15 seconds, and then you've lost them. If you do capture their attention and you can get them to take an action, which is typically go to our website, right? So they can check out whatever it is you do. Then you've kind of reached another level where their attention span is going to grow because you're directing them to something that they're interested in. So it's incredibly important to understand that your content on your website can be a little bit longer. It can be 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, right? Because they're more interested, right? Once they've watched a little bit more content and they start really digging into the website and clicking around, they've entered what's called an extreme research phase, right? So they really want to know what's going on. And they're going to be more willing to watch video content, right? And they could watch an hour of video content. And that's kind of taking somebody, plucking them out of the air and getting them to watch content. But then you also have to remember that some people are already looking for a product or service, right? So they're already Google searching. They're already they know they want to spend their money. They know they need the product. They know they want it. For people like me, it's camera gear, right? So new cameras just came out. I'm like, let me go research. I want to go, and I know that I'm going to buy that stuff. So when I go to the websites, I'm more than likely going to watch a good amount of video. And understanding that from a company standpoint and an audience standpoint is really important, because my attention span on social media is short. But if I know that I want something and I go to a website, I've watched hours of video on some really cool camera equipment before I buy it. And that's driven me to a point where I'm going to go ahead and buy. So the length of the content is really important. Even this show, right? So this show is on video. This is going to be long form content, and it's an hour long. And yet your audience is going to watch or listen to this for an hour. And even though their attention span might be short on social media, understanding that audience and where they're at is incredibly important to understanding the length of video that you should be using.
And I think what's really interesting too, and I agree. And when you think about the content, right? I almost said that it's really important to offer value to your audience and not just to put a hodgepodge of video together and throw it out there. However, and I agree with that statement. However, I have spent hours on TikTok. Okay, and it's just videos. It's 30 seconds of nothing. It's 30 seconds of, oh my God, what's the next person going to do? You know, right. And it's ridiculous, but it actually, it kind of almost voids my previous statement that everything needs to be content and value driven. And I'm like, but I've spent hours, and I'm like, if I could figure out, I have a TikTok channel, and I can't figure out what kind of video to put up there because I'm too analytical and I'm too logical. And I'm like, nobody wants to watch me stir my rice or make a steak. And I bet people would watch me do that.
You'd be surprised what people would watch. You'd be surprised what people will spend their time doing on their cell phone. It's incredible. And really, if you have something, if you have a product or service that there's interest in, people will consume that content. They really will. There's a reason why companies spend millions or hundreds of millions of dollars to be online and to run these campaigns. It's because it works. Like if it didn't work, they wouldn't do it. I mean, obviously you got to know what you're doing and how to do it, but yes, people will spend time to watch your content.
And you know, another venue that I get totally sucked into is my stories on Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. And people actually take TikTok videos and repost them to their story in Facebook. And so you're kind of going through the stories, and then you look at the top and there's little dashes all the way at the top, and it represents all the different things they've added to their story. And I'm literally sitting there watching TikTok videos that people reposted that they thought were important to them. And now I'm connecting with my friend on a level that I'm seeing things that are interesting to them, and I'm understanding my audience more.
And that's really interesting that you bring that up, because from a business perspective, you got to understand that your audience is very much like a passing train, right? They might see you on Facebook, they might not, because they're looking out the other side of the train and Facebook's over here, right? Yeah. So you got to understand that they might be on a different platform, and having a strategy that includes multiple platforms is incredibly important. And even going further than that, the technology and the data that's collected and the ability for platforms to learn and retarget an audience is absolutely crazy. It's unbelievable that you can very specifically target somebody on Facebook, and as soon as they consume a piece of your content, you can basically follow them around the internet. You can follow them on TikTok. You can follow them on Instagram. You can follow them on LinkedIn. Like it's crazy the amount of data. But from a business standpoint, that's huge, because that's your target audience, and you can continue to be in front of them. So no matter if they're looking out that side of the train, they're still going to see your content, because that side is TikTok and this side is Facebook, but they're looking over here. So they still see that information. It's incredible, the power that we have to understand that data and utilize it to actually get big time results for your business.
Wow. That's it right there. And of course, that's what your program's all about. So that's great.
Yes.
You can jump into that and learn all those little secrets and tactics, right? I mean, you said amateurs talk about tactics, but once you get out of that program, you'll no longer be thinking in a tactical mindset, but more of a logistical, right?
Exactly right.
It's a transformation program, ladies and gentlemen.
We're very excited about it. We're very excited to help people really live a life that they want to live, doing what they love to do. There's nothing better. I could never imagine going back to the corporate world knowing that I'm living my dream life, and I'm honestly making more money than I ever would have at any of the corporate jobs that I worked. And it's possible. It's all possible. If you understand the pieces of the business that need to be understood to make it doable. Yeah,
for sure. So let's talk about starting your business. When you first came out of corporate and military, you started this, and you mentioned earlier, you took your transferable skills and you applied them to your business. I'd like to talk now about what are some of the challenges that you had to overcome, and maybe just give like a success story, something that happened where you thought, wow, I can't believe I just did that.
Sure. Well, let's go ahead and rewind. Let's go back about, I think it's about 11 years now. So about 11 years ago, I tried to launch a company. I tried to launch my own business. It was a photography studio. So I wanted to do like portraits and weddings and stuff like that. So, I went and I got this giant studio on South Congress here in Austin, which is the street, right? There's so much traffic. And I put up a giant sign that had, and I was like, that's all I got to do. Like I have the skills to take the photos. I just got to set up shop and people will come. If you build it, they will come, right? Like the Field of Dreams.
Worst statement ever.
Well, and I found out right away that I didn't have the business skills. I lacked that skill set. I had only been in the business world for maybe about 4 or 5 years at that point. I tried to go out on my own and I failed. I fell flat on my face. I filed for bankruptcy, like everything. I put all my life savings and it was gone.
Wow.
And I learned a lot from that experience. I learned that it's gonna, like, you have to take the risk. If you're gonna be in business, it's not for the faint of heart, right? You gotta be willing to get in and fight, and you're gonna take your licks. It is going to happen. And I took mine. And when I went back into the business world, when I was going through the Army, I really focused on learning from that experience and understanding why I failed. Why was that? And it's because I didn't have that business knowledge that I do now. Fast forward all these years and I have that knowledge. So fast forward, I launched my video production company. I've got more knowledge. I honestly didn't have the biggest skill set from a video standpoint. I was always photo, and transferring over to video is a very different skill set, a very different technical kind of piece. And I didn't have all the skills there. In fact, I didn't even have all the equipment that I really needed. I had a lower grade camera. I had a very low end lens. I didn't have much other than passion, and this time a lot of business knowledge. But within about 16 months, we had already closed over $200,000 in corporate and commercial video production clients, which for a videographer, a technical videographer, is a ton of money, right? Most video, like those starving artists, I hate to say that again and again, but a lot of them are, they'll go a whole year and, they might make $20,000 if they're lucky. Within 16 months, we took that really kind of crappy camera and turned that into something really good. But I think the message that I would deliver is that if you're a videographer or if you have any other passion and you want to start your own business, it's doable. Understand the business piece. Understand that you're solving the problems and being able to articulate that to your audience and show them how to solve those problems, and you can be successful. It is 100% doable, but you have to be willing to put the time and effort, to take your licks, to get hit on the chin and get back up, because it's really not for the faint of heart, but it's totally doable.
So the business knowledge, you didn't have it, and then you had it. So where did it come from? Did you get a mentor, a coach? Did you take a class? Did you just trial and error, figure it out, skin your knee?
A couple of things. Yeah. So obviously in the business world and the corporate world, you obviously have good leaders, you got bad leaders. In the military as well, I had some really phenomenal leadership, fortunately for me, who taught me a lot of stuff. So all that experience in the business world, and then the fact that within the business world, I kind of bounced around. I saw a lot of different departments. A lot of times people in the business world will stay in that one spot and they'll just take that one track. And that's very much like a train track, right? Like once you're on that train track, you can't really turn the train. It's going on the track.
Right.
But if you're driving the car, you can hook a right, you can hook a left. And I did that very much so in the business world. So I did my best to see all those different departments and understand those problems. And when I started getting the courage back up to go and launch my own business, because there was still that reluctance, because I knew how bad that hurt the first time, you know, I really started to understand, like, I could solve a problem there. Like, we could use a video right here to solve this problem. And it would save time. It would save money. It would produce more clients, whatever it was. And those were the thoughts that were going in my head. So all the leadership, all the just bouncing around, you know, it was 22 years to get me to a point where I was actually successful in what I wanted. It didn't happen overnight. It took 22 years of putting it together, and we're finally here, and I couldn't be happier.
That's amazing. And it does take time, you know, different pieces and different people, they all play a part for sure. And so let me ask about the videographers that are still thinking tactically, the amateurs. Okay. And we say that with the deepest respect. Everybody's got to start somewhere. So we're not disparaging that at all. And I want to bring it into the current situation. You know, COVID is causing everybody to stay home. They're causing them to be online. They're, if you go through any kind of Facebook news feed, there's commercial after commercial about, you know, join this program, join this class, this webinar, this workshop, and you can get information overload, but you can also have the shiny object syndrome. How do you know, as a videographer specifically, how do you know, like, stop learning and start doing?
That is a very good question. And I want to address the first point that you made, and then kind of get back to stop learning and start doing. So for the videographers that don't necessarily want to be the logistical mind frame, that is 100% okay. And there is ways to be very successful as a camera operator and make a good living doing that. You can go work for an agency that they do all the logistics, they do the lead generation, they do all the strategy, and they just need the awesome camera operator to go knock it out. You can go into weddings, right? In weddings, there's not really a return on investment that the client is expecting, other than that the video is done and done well. Right? They don't have to deliver that to a mass audience. It's for the wedding couple. They watch it on their anniversary every year, so you don't have to think logistically. So it's 100% possible to be very successful as a camera operator. If you want to go from that and really take the reins and be able to run a company, not just be self-employed. Like, self-employed is basically you have a job and the job owns you. You're not working for the big corporate, but the job owns you. You're working, you know, when you start to want to build your company and have a system that's working for you, and you're kind of just quarterbacking the shots, in order to do that, then you have to start thinking logistically. Now, as far as getting from the point to stop learning and start doing, the shiny object syndrome that happens with every creative, and it still happens with me, is the camera equipment. Right? It's the new stuff that comes out, and it makes all the sense in the world, because we revert back to our strength. As a creative person, it's hard not to be pulled in that direction, because we see it and we're automatically thinking, well, I can up my production quality, which means that somebody is going to want to buy my services more. Stop thinking that, right? That people don't buy videos. They're buying the results that the videos get.
Yes.
You have to be able to produce those results, to stop yourself. Like, I had a Canon 60D, and for every videographer that's listening knows that a Canon 60D is like a bottom of the line camera, and I was still able to get results. Obviously, as we grow, we get more camera gear and all that stuff, but stop thinking that the camera gear is what's keeping you back from being successful. Learn the business side and start implementing it. Take the camera equipment that you currently have and go solve a problem. Go solve a problem for a business owner, show them results. And when you start showing more and more people results, those business owners will start telling their business owner friends and their other high-level people, and you just be surprised at the avalanche of people that come asking, well, like, I want to work with you because you're a strategist. You're not, there's thousands of camera operators. I could go hire anybody. They're probably better than you using your camera. They might even be cheaper than you, but you can get results.
Yeah.
So put the shiny objects away. When that camera gear comes out, turn it off and really focus on what the business owner wants, and that's results.
So it's really awesome you talk about that, because I have a really great story I want to share with you.
Let's hear it.
So, and I think I can beat your Canon 600. Okay. So I'm not a videographer. Okay. And I like taking digital photos, and I made an investment. I think it was early 90s, something like that. 90, no, I don't know, maybe. Oh, wait, let me get it right. I made an investment, I think it was around 98, okay? And it was a Sony digital camera.
Okay.
And the memory was a floppy disk. Yeah.
It's so amazing how far we've come since then.
I know.
I remember those cameras.
But I'll tell you what I did with that camera. I was building websites, because I'd gone to school to learn how to do websites. There was a big thing at that time. It was, everybody wanted one. And, nonprofit organizations were always struggling, so I targeted nonprofits, and I did it for half price because I wanted to, get out there and take all my training from my school and implement it and at least get some hands-on experience. So I did it for the nonprofits. Well, I would take pictures during their service. I would, go take what we called earlier, we talked about B-roll. Before the show started, we were talking about B-roll. And I was taking, not video, but I was taking pictures that they could use as clip art or backgrounds or website, stuff. And I did it all with that Sony camera with a floppy disk. And I'll tell you what, I still have it. It's in the closet.
You know what? You could solve problems with that camera.
I did.
Yeah, you could do it now. You could totally get results for a business. I mean, people get results for businesses filming videos on their cell phones. Yep. It's all about understanding the problem, understanding the audience, picking the right tool for the job, the right video, and showing it to the right people, and distributing it and measuring those results. Once you can do that, if you're confident doing that as a video professional, then closing deals and helping businesses is second nature. And it's awesome to be able to have the confidence in knowing that you can actually do that for a company. You can make them more successful. And that's the type of confidence that comes from learning that other side and not just the creating the video.
Yeah, absolutely. And something you said just a second ago is that picking the right tool. And immediately people might think, well, the right tool is the right camera, but you corrected that and said, no, it's the right video.
Correct video.
So it doesn't matter how it got shot, as long as that video has the message that the customer wants, and then you choose a reliable distribution channel to get it to them to get results. That's what matters.
Absolutely. 100%. I'm going to hire you to come in and tell that to the people on my course, because you said it better than I do.
I'm down. Hire me. I'm down. I'll come do it. I'm all in. When do I show up?
Well, let's do it. You're right you're right up the street in Arlington. We'll have to make that happen. No, it's an incredibly important message. And that the whole idea for me is to help videographers understand that. And it's incredible the transformations that happen in being able to build that confidence once you have that piece of the puzzle.
So if somebody out there wants to learn, let's just focus on the business side, right? Because people are following us, they're businesses, they're entrepreneurs, small businesses, and they want to learn about these strategies that you're talking about on these different platforms, how to create the video, how to distribute it to get the results they're looking for. And they want to work with you, David. How do they reach out to you and work with you instead of just going to pick up a book out of the library?
So a couple of things, if you have a business and you really want to take a look at video strategy and you want to chat, reach out to me. We are in Central Texas. We're based in Austin, but we do travel throughout the United States. So even if you're listening in, Massachusetts or Washington or wherever, Germany, we'll do international as well. Reach out to me, and you can just send me an email, David@take17video.com. And we can chat about, obviously looking into video strategy for your company. Now, if you're comfortable and you're already creating content, whether that be photo content or video content, and you want to understand how to run ad campaigns on different distribution platforms, our mini course is The Real Deal Online Marketer, and it does teach you step-by-step in video tutorials how to run those ad campaigns on all of those platforms. So again, Facebook, Instagram, Google, Snapchat, YouTube, LinkedIn, MailChimp, and ManyChat. Right now, we're gonna add a few more. But if you want to run your own campaigns, that course is for sale. It's $199 US. If you're interested in buying that, you can reach out to me, same email address. So david@take17video.com. And I can get you over to our purchase page to purchase that. And the beauty of that program is kind of cool. Since I work with my marketing partner to develop that, and he runs 2 marketing agencies, we understand that platforms are constantly updating. So YouTube changes their algorithm or Facebook changes their platform. When that happens, we update that content. So that way, when you buy the course now and you don't have to use YouTube right now, but a year from now, you need to use it, it's going to be updated content because Mark, my partner, is always seeing that. He's always updating it. And that'll just be a reliable source for you to be able to go into and really learn what you need to do to actually run the campaigns.
That's amazing. I'm so grateful that you created both of those. And when you do reach out to David, please let him know you heard about it on Dunham Business Radio so we can track our content.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'll just offer you guys a discount. So if you guys, well, first of all, if you're a veteran, we do offer 10% discount. Just ask for that. But since Lori has been so awesome to have us on her show, if you guys mention that you heard it on Dunham Business Radio, we'll also give you 10% to get that course.
Wow, that's amazing. So generous. And thank you. I hadn't even asked for that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So Dennis, let's throw it back to you. Do you got anything you want to ask David before we sign off?
Come on, Dennis, ask me a good hard one.
Yeah, good one. Make them think a little bit. They can work for it.
So first of all, how did you came up to the name Take 17 Videos?
Yes, that's a great question. Okay.
Great question.
So when I launched my company, it was originally called Take ATX. And my mind frame was, like take 1, take 2, like the clapper thing. Yeah. But I also, my mind frame was like, I'm going to take over this city. I'm going to take over Austin, Texas. Everybody's going to know me. Everybody's going to know my business. So Take ATX, Take Austin, Texas. What I found though is that everybody's getting really confused about they were like, what is it? I don't know. They didn't quite get it. They didn't really see it as a video production and strategy company. So I had to pivot a little. I reluctantly gave up the name. So Take 17. It's funny now because everybody's like, does it take 17 takes to actually get a good take?
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly 17 takes. Wow, you're a perfectionist.
If it takes that long, we will do it whatever it takes to get the good take. But the reality is that the number 17 is kind of our family lucky number. So my mom was one of 17 kids. So she had 16 brothers and sisters. Yeah. So all one by one, no twins, no triplets, anything like that. 17 kids. My grandma, I don't know how she did it. She was pregnant for like 25 years straight. So 17's always been that number. And then my dad was actually born on January 17th. So that number just, it's part of my family. And kind of really when I wanted to name my company, I needed something that said video production, right? Like this is take 1, take 2, take 17. But also I wanted it to tie back to the people who really, influenced me and my family, my mom and my dad, my brother, my aunts and my uncles, who really encouraged me to follow my dream. Even though I took my licks and I had to file for bankruptcy and I fell on my face. They never talked me out of following my dream. They always pushed me. They always said, lean into it, go and get it. Doesn't matter. You might fall again. Doesn't matter. Just go. We got your back. So 17 was really really, I wanted to put that in there. So Take 17 Video Productions is what we landed on for the business name.
That's an amazing name and a great story behind it. And it's so awesome that you have a family that supports you and pushes you forward instead of, stepping on your neck when you're down. So it's really great.
Most families, the people that'll tell you not to do something, not to follow your dream is a lot of times, your family and friends, and they do it from a good place because they don't want to see you fail and get hurt. But reality is business is not an easy, you gotta be willing to fall down, and you need a support system. My family was definitely that.
One time I created a small company, it was a DBA, it was just doing business as, and I named it Aisle 7 Productions.
Okay.
And somebody said, well, where'd you get the idea? I was like, I was in aisle 7 of the supermarket and the idea came to me.
That's fantastic. I like that. Aisle 7. Clean up in aisle 7, please.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be, the plan was to promote videos from independent filmmakers to help them get the word out about their videos. And my job was supposed to go out and, drum up crowds to come see free screenings and whatnot. And it started in Austin, oddly enough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great place to start a business.
And so now here I am on radio. So how did that happen? I don't know, but
that's awesome. That's good stuff.
So thank you so much for coming on, David. It's been a great interview. I have enjoyed this thoroughly. I really appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule to come on.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate you having me on. Again, if anybody wants to reach out to talk to me, David at take17video.com. If you want to take a look at our course, the master course, the Real Deal Video Strategist Club, the website is trdvsc.com, just short for the Real Deal Video Strategist Club. But yeah, and then any business owners that want to purchase the mini course, again, just let us know that you heard us on Dunham Radio, and we'll get you a 10% discount. Just send me an email and I'll get you taken care of.
Man, that's amazing. Thank you again for that generous offer. It's great. So, and I really look forward to doing some stuff with you too. And, I'm going to be traveling next year with a plan to go to all the different countries where I have listeners. So I would love to team up with you you can come and video and I don't know, we'll figure it out. Right.
Let's figure it out. Let's work. Collaboration is always a good time. So absolutely. Just let me know.
Yeah, collaboration is the king. Dennis, thank you so much again for being on the show. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thanks, Dennis. It was great meeting. I love the flag in the back too. Good job. I love that.
And so if you would like to be a guest on the show and you've got a great marketing idea, or you just need to make those connections, that's what we're here for. So if you want to be on the show, send us an email, DunhamBusinessRadio@gmail.com. And we'd love to talk to you, see if you're a good fit, and have you come on the show. And once again, put your comments in the box. David's going to be monitoring those comments over the next couple of days, and he would love to engage with you. Once again, send an email out to David to let him know that you want to start up on his course, and you get the 10%. Now, see, is that connection? Is that promotion? That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. So we're here to help you. Let us know what you need. What topics do you want to listen to? This show is from me to you, right? It's my way of giving back. So if there's a topic, there's a guest you want on here, let me know. We're starting to make connections all over the world now. I might just be able to pick up the phone and call somebody. You just never know. So let me know what you want. And we're just so grateful. Thank you for all your support. Please share this video, like our page, do all the fun stuff to stay connected, and refer. And love it. And thank you. So until next time, everybody, stay on top of the world. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Dunham Business Radio Show. Be sure to follow us at Dunham Business Radio and check out DunhamBusinessRadio.com for more info.
I'm on top of the world, now I'm living, and the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah. And